Audi e-tron has been on the market for a few months now, and the sales have been pretty strong, but it finally, I shouldn't say finally, it did get its first problem, and I'll tell you about what the problem is. It's a recall, but also let's see how they're handling it, right? When I reserved my e-tron, and why I even looked at Audi versus Tesla, I knew that it wasn't going to be a better car per se, but it would have a better ownership experience. And ownership experience is all about what happens when things go wrong. So I'll tell you what went wrong, and I'll tell you how Audi is handling it. I think it's right on point of what I expected it, especially compared to Tesla. And maybe this is where Tesla can take notes and maybe up their service to match something what Audi is doing here. All right, all of this is coming up next. Taking over the world, electrifying the world, Welcome to E4Electric, your number one source of unbiased electric car news. If this is your first time here, go ahead and click on the subscribe button down there so you don't miss anything moving forward. And a quick thank you to one of my newer Patreons, John Pagani. Thank you so much for joining my Patreon community. The only place where you can watch these videos live. It's one of the perks, but also thank you for supporting my independent channel. I really, really do appreciate it. All right, so let's talk about the Audi e-tron. It's been on sale for a while. I just reported that in United States, the sales have been very close to Tesla Model S. I think over 800 units for that. That's pretty good. And they've been on sale in Europe for a while. I actually host one of the few I do host Tesla groups as well, but Audi e-tron groups, and it looks like everyone's really, really excited about getting their cars. A lot of people get their cars every day, but now there's a recall, and the recall is concerned about, I guess, a seal in the battery compartment, and essentially they're saying that there's a possibility of water leaking into the high voltage charging port and causing possible short circuit or maybe even a fire. Now, nothing has happened yet. Audi identified, I guess, 5 cars that had this problem, and then they're saying this problem affects 540 cars that are in hands of customers right now, and a little over 1,600 overall. The rest of them are obviously still in a process of delivery. And so, you know, this is what they've identified, and they recall this. What they're offering for the customers is that they can keep driving the car, but if they see the warning that there's something wrong, they literally ask them to pull over in an open area, not to call the towing service, because apparently, you know, if it really does catch on fire, you don't want somebody kind of messing around with it, or they can get a free loaner from Audi, and an $800 gift card. Apparently this is to compensate for gas. So you're probably not going to be getting an e-tron loaner, but I would expect you to get a comparable loaner. Though I would still push for the e-tron, but you know, we'll see. This is just happening, so we don't really know what's going to be available, especially 540. That's a large amount. You probably just don't have enough just spare e-trons. Every e-tron that's being delivered right now to the US, at least most of them were already made to order. So you will probably get Audi, some sort of Audi car, but it also will get this gas car to drive it, because it might be a while. They're saying that it's taken a while to produce the fix, so they're targeting August. Right? And also, and this is a great part, is you're gonna get Audi Care for free, sort of as a thank you to kind of you know, to experience this and to go through with the brand, which is great. And if you already bought an Audi Care, then you will be reimbursed. So this is pretty good service if you ask me. Oh, and by the way, you don't need to even drive to the dealership. They will pick it up and drop it off for you. So just completely 100% kind of a red carpet service, if you will, you know, even though this is a problem. Now, overall, don't forget, this is a pretty tiny recall, right? There are brands out there recalling tens of thousands, sometimes over 100,000 cars. So kudos to them for catching it early. But let's break this down into sort of positives and negatives, because remember how I started the show? I said I really, really had hopes for Audi having a better service, also better build quality, but better service compared to Tesla, and that's why I was more inclined to go with an Audi. There are reasons why I haven't yet, but it looks like I'm being proven right there. But yeah, let's go through positives and negatives. Before that, I want to mention that this video and this channel is sponsored by Byte, and check out the all-electric SUV called M-Byte, coming to the US and Europe at the end of next year. So make sure to reserve yours today. The line is growing. Over 50,000 of us who reserve this car. $0 down. So really, absolutely nothing required from you except for about 60 seconds of your time to type in your information and reserve your button today. There's a link in the description of this video. All right, so let's talk about the positives and negatives here, and I think there are quite a few. All right. So I forget that I forgot that I put that sound bite in there. All right, so let's talk about the positives. The positive is obviously the fact that they've identified this problem early. You know, there's only 540 cars out there, and they already figured it out. There's absolutely no incidents, so kudos to them for that. Secondly, and this is I think the biggest point I've already made, good customer service. When there is a problem and the brand is behind their commitment to your service, that is great, right? Because there were quite a few, quite a few concerns that dealerships may not just be behind this whole electric car thing just yet, and the brand is kind of going back and forth. Looks like they handled it beautifully. The fact that not only you're going to be getting sort of, they'll try to not bother you with this as much as possible. They'll deliver the loan or they'll take the other one back. They'll service it. You'll get a gift card. All of that stuff is really good. On top of that, they're throwing the Audi here, which is not, that's not a cheap service. So that's kudos to them for that. However, on the negative side, obviously, makes you wonder, what were they doing as far as testing is concerned? Every brand tests their cars before they come out. Usually they have a year or so with prototypes. And what were they doing? Like, what is all this testing? I mean, they've had, a lot of times, and especially knowing that this is new technology. They need to maybe test a little bit more than they test or used to testing their gas cars. And seriously, water leaking into the battery? That's like the first thing. I don't know anything about this really. I mean, maybe more than other people, but as far as being a specialist, the first thing I'll be like, hey, let's make sure this car doesn't catch on fire, right? And I guess this is also, maybe we go back to the positive a little bit is, this is the difference, right? Let's see how many Audi e-trons catch on fire, because it's a problem. In China, it happens all the time. It happened with Tesla a few times, gave a lot of bad publicity. It's good that they're being proactive and making sure no e-tron is catching on fire. That is a little weird, and I would just go back to the negative here is that they, saying that it's okay maybe to drive this car until you see that light come on. I don't know why they would do that. I would just say, listen, bring it in. We'll give you the loan, and let's just all move on with this, and we'll do the fix. So that's the only one that kind of makes me wonder. But that's and lastly, this is not a good start for a car that had a lot of scrutiny, right? The EPA range was lower than everybody expected, and because they told us to expect something much better at around 250, and it came in about 204. So just quite a few other problems, delays and just regular stuff. But nevertheless, it had maybe a tough go in the beginning, and this is obviously not helping. But I love the way how they're handling it. Let me know if you're one of the e-tron owners, and also let me know if you're one of the Tesla owners. Would you wish that Tesla would do something very similar here, be a little bit more proactive, be a little bit more customer servicey? And if you are maybe thinking about going with a different brand than Tesla, how much this stuff really plays into that? The fact that ownership experience, the customer service, that they provide, because customer service is usually when things go wrong. That's where you really need it, right? It's good to have good customer service when things are going good, but when things are really hitting the fan, that's where you really need good customer service. And it looks like Audi is doing a pretty good job. Now, we also provide good customer service. If you don't know, we have our VIP list. So if you get on there, every Saturday we'll send out a bonus story. And we are also featuring Deal of the Month, just in case if you haven't checked it out. It's almost the end, so you better sign up. I think this is the last time we're going to be sending that out, and then we'll probably change it to something else. So go to e4electric.com/VIP. All right, let me know what you think in the comment section. Other than that, see you guys next time, and remember I don't remember my own slogan. Wow. It's Monday. Anyway, remember to stay charged.